That sucks. That was quite literally a crash with all the work lost on stream. So everything I did before is gone. But, I mean, maybe it was really fast. Maybe it'll be fast this time. I'm just going to go back and redo everything really quick. I'm just getting rid of things, really. I don't need any of this stuff. All I want to do is simplify everything to the max so I can understand it better. So I can, there we go. I explained this last time. Interestingly, it's not even running right now. Is it? Oh, it is. Yeah. That's good. But we're missing the background image, which I am curious about. I'm not sure why the background image would be gone. Okay. Man, that sucked. That was a straight up crash. I've got a Mac Pro 2013, and Apple pretty much came out and said, you know what, that was a mistake. We messed up. And that is completely consistent with my experience. In my experience, it has been a terrible machine. I mean, it's quite fast, but it crashes basically every day, twice. Okay, man, I just cleaned all this stuff up. I had just gotten rid of all this. That really annoys me. But whatever. Just gonna go through. So basically, what I did before is I was talking about how these are all shadows of previous thoughts, and they're really just making my brain cluttered. What I do is I take my scene and I divide it by geometry on the left, cameras on the right, lights on top, renders stuff in the center, line them up with the cameras that they're using, like that. Let's see, which one is this? Like that. Okay, it looks looks a bit better. Get rid of this constant. Get rid of any comps. This whole section was all blur stuff. It's like adding a glow, but I think it could just be fixed with a better. It was kind of to fix anti-aliasing. All right, transform out. Just gonna get rid of all this stuff. My goal is to make everything easier. So. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now we're just about to get into the clock itself and how that works. And I'm going to save, because I didn't save last time. New clock 52. There we go. Alright, so let's get into this. So this is where it crashed last time. Man, a lot of things broke. There used to be a number here as well. That's weird. I don't know why things would just randomly stop working. So the clock face should be in here. And this is it right here. And I'll right click and see. It's like I'm missing a piece of geometry or something. I am. This is the geometry I'm missing. I don't know why it's not displaying though. It's rendering. It's not even showing here. Okay. Huh. I don't know. This is totally bizarre. Well, I probably shouldn't get too deep into it. I'll fix it in a bit. But let's just go back out to the biggest part of the scene, which is, this is where all the the clock face and the clock hands are, and it's terribly organized, but I wanted to show the way that I organize things, the way I go through and kind of simplify projects. Well, the first thing you want to do is name, obviously. That's one thing I don't do when I'm working. And get rid of anything that's disconnected. So this is, you can tell this isn't doing anything to the network because it's not connected in any way by a line. So these things are obviously all doing things, and I'll just select them all, and I'll turn their viewers on like this. And now I can kind of see what's going on. It makes the scene slower, but I'll start one by one, hitting R to stop rendering them, and then, so I find out what they are, name it, in this case clock face, and if it's important, make it big, and if I don't need it anymore, turn off the viewer. So that one's been organized. Let's see, what is this guy? I don't know what this is. Oh, maybe it's some sort of z-depth thing. And my clock face has come back. This is funny. Okay, so now, let's see, I've got a constant. This is just a black ring, I believe. This is just, let's see, it's got a constant on it. It's just black. And something weird is going on. Maybe it's my graphics card or something. Because I'll toggle this on and it will have varying different effects. But I'm just going to take this, collapse it, right click, change comp type to geometry, render it again, view it. Let's see, does it work now? Doesn't seem to. Don't know why. It could be a translate thing. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just leave this as it is, and I'll say this is the clock back face. Okay, and naming it has, for some reason, made it appear again. I think something's messed up with this computer. Okay, so I've got my clock face. I've got the clock back face. Gonna hide this. What is going on here? Looking for end nodes that have red. So these things I know. Okay, something really weird's going on because toggling this is also toggling the clock face. I blame Apple. Okay, so these two things are, these are the dates. And right here on this clock, that's the date line. So you can see it's midnight. Anything that's to the left here is one day. Anything that's to the right is the next day. So these are the two dates. My idea is that you would look for this line. This is the international date line. So these are cities turning to the next day. This is the first day. This is the most far ahead time zone. So anything within this part of the pie is the 17th, and anything that's on this part of the pie is the 16th. Right. Now I remember how I made this. Okay, so I've got these two dates here. They're already named. I'm going to call this one yesterday, and I'm going to call this one today, or something. I don't know. Alright, so another two things that I have named. They've got a little texture there, or like a material with them. I'll turn them off. Let's see what this guy is. This guy doesn't even look like it's being used. Oh, I also had it up here for a second. I'm going to call this date hand. And put it over here. Interestingly enough, what am I doing here? It looks like I am instancing this piece of geometry to a point that is offset and rotated by the day. I think that's it. Okay, so I'm taking, basically everything I'm doing here, I'm taking from the clock node, which is further down the scene. I'm just, I want to show you here. And that is, we've got all these different, this is how the whole clock was made. So I didn't really make the clock. I didn't really I didn't find some way to keep time. I'm just visualizing data, essentially. So we have all this stuff, and Y day is the day within the year that we are. One thing that you might notice is it's the 15th, but it's actually the 16th here. The reason of that is that it counts from 0. So it's 0 to 355. So what I've done is I've taken the day, the 15, And then I have divided 365. You can see this is a math chop with divide. I've divided 365 by 15. And that gets me the rotation around, is that right? What's that? Is it 15 divided by 30? It looks to me like it's 15 divided by 365. That doesn't make sense, because, oh yeah, it is, actually. That's right. So we're dividing the year day by 365, which is the total number of days, to get the percentage of the year that we are. So we're at 0.0411% of the year. We're not even at 1%. And then I take that and I multiply it by 360, which is the number of degrees in a circle, and that gives me the year-day rotation, which is how far in degrees around the circle we are based on the day. There we go. So I've got that. This is the year day, and it is rotating this guy like that, and that is instancing to this date, which is right here. There you go. So that's all one component, isn't it? But this year day is being shared by something else. What is this? That's the circle that goes around it. And that's doing the same thing. There's definitely a more efficient way of doing this, I'm sure of it. Look at all these unused nodes. It's all very silly. So what is this? Ah, this is a clock hand that I no longer use. That's okay. I'll just put this to the side. And that. Okay, so that is the clock hand, and those two things go together, but I'm not gonna collapse them yet, because I want to understand it a bit better before I go through and start collapsing. So just going to organize it a bit more. Good. Okay. So here is my main clock node, which really should be on the left. Then I've got this guy here. Let's see what this is. I think I know what it is. This might be a fun one. Okay, so that's right. Okay, so this is kind of hard to explain, but basically what I've got going on is this is okay, so this is me trying to find out how many seconds. It's trying to think of the 24-hour time in terms of seconds. So we have our second number, and this is, by the way, all being added together. So we have our number of seconds, and we have our number of minutes times 60, which is the number of it's 14 minutes in seconds. It's 840. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining anything today. And then we have the number of hours times 3,600, which is how many hours, or sorry, how many seconds are in an hour. And then, what is this? 0.001. That can't be right. Huh. It's almost like it's, oh, it's something so I can adjust the global time, but I don't want that. I'll get rid of it. Okay, there we go. So this is how many seconds we are in the day. And let me just do a quick calculation to see. So 60 seconds times 60 minutes times 24 minutes. That's how many seconds are in a day. And now if we divide that number. Can I open a second calculator because I've got, no, okay. Take this number and then, what do we do? Divide. Let's just try dividing it by, I know that's not right. That was the other way around. Okay, so let's try this again. 60 times 60 times 24. Okay, so 44124 divided by 86,400. 86,400, 86,400, 86,400, 86,400, oops. 124 divided by 86,400. That's not right. What am I doing? Okay, I'm trying to get the, this is like basic math. This is basic math I'm messing up. All I want to do is find out the percentage of the day. I think this is extremely basic math and I'm just brain farting right now. But this, and 86,400, that is the percentage of the day we are. And it will match up with, on my clock, with London, or sorry, with Vancouver. So it should be about 52.25% or something like that. Anyway, so that's what I have. I have the clock here, and it is finding out the total percentage of the day based on seconds, and then that's piping that out to the clock face. What else are we doing here? Here, just start picking it apart one by one. Nice. Here I've got the seconds, and the seconds are with this guy. Layout selected. Got a couple more things here. Okay. So my suspicion is this is my seconds hand. It is. So this controls the rotation of this circle by taking the seconds and multiplying by -6. All these numbers really should be positive. This is like a design flaw I guess I had when I first started making this project. But the reason it's by 6 is because 60 goes into 360 6 times. So every time the clock ticks, it rotates 6 degrees around the center. Okay, so I know this is the seconds hand, and I really would like to find a way to make these into components, but I'm just going to separate them for now. So I wish there was a good way to label things besides making little text boxes, but I think if I separate them enough, I'll be good. So we determined that this is the date. This is the date. This is the seconds. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. I think it's good. This right here is doing nothing. This is the month. And that's doing nothing. What is this? This is something that's straight up doing nothing. Oh, it's just a clock hand. Okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to collapse it. And then change the comp type to a geometry. Like so. Call it a clock hand. And I'm just going to put it in my scraps folder because I don't need it. Like that. Okay, this is clearly the minute hand. Right there. Take that, put on the side. Should really just be laying these all out like that. Layout. Layout. Selected. Shift L. I need to remember that. Wait, but where'd my... Interesting, it took my minute and it put it up here. Did it just lay everything out? No. It did. It laid everything out. Well, that's going to be confusing for me later. That's all good. Take this. This is my minute hand. Good. See, this is, that's kind of annoying. I wish it didn't lay everything out for me because now I've kind of lost track of where I am. And unfortunately I can't undo it because the undo isn't on there. So what is all this? Yeah, see, this is bullshit. Like that's even a bad way of laying it out. I'm pretty sure this is unwatchable, by the way, which I'm cool with. Today, dates, as I said. Date hand, date circle. These guys gotta go there. Second hand. Oops. Like so. This is the year day that Right, that's the year day percentage. That's the number of degrees around around the circle for the day. Clock face back, that's an important one. Clock face is even more important. Texture. Main, okay, I think we're back to it. And this is the section that I was talking about that that figures out the hour percentage by adding up the seconds and everything. I still can't believe I couldn't figure out that math problem. I'm just like seriously brain farting. That's okay though. Okay, so there's the second hand, which we just established. This is the minute hand for the 10th time. Minute. This is my problem though, is like I don't, you know, I'm a very visual person and I lose track of where I am and I need a way to like label things. I wish there was just a way to make a label, because right now all you can do, I believe, is just add a text thing and then, you know, type in it in the text port and say minute, you know, minuet, minute, you know, but that once you toggle everything, it goes away. So doesn't seem like the best way to do it, but I think that's how I'll document all this stuff anyway. Look at this, we got a couple stragglers. Let's just, before we delete them, I love finding things like this because it's like, hey, free money or free performance. Okay, so this was just kind of like a grid that I made. I don't think this is necessary though. Get rid of both of these things. Keep flying in and out. Okay, let's go look at these big old groups here. Ones that are larger. So this is my year ring. So this is a fun one. I really enjoyed, what is this? Oh, this is distance around the, okay. I really enjoyed this little section. So you can see I've already labeled it. I'll turn this all on. But this is basically taking, it's doing a copy stamp. And copy stamps are extremely useful, but basically what it does is it takes this basic template, which is this object, and it duplicates it onto the points of this object. And the way it does it is you make a little variable here, or parameter, I call it ID, and the ID is just the point number. So if I were to go to display options, and then do number, like that, it's showing me also the objects, which I could get rid of, I think, but I won't. I think I'm just going to do it here. If I go in here, this is the object I'm duplicating to. Then it will show me I've got point numbers here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are just the ID number of the point. So I'm taking that, and I'm saving it to this parameter called ID. And then every time I copy one of these guys onto that circle, when it's making the text for that circle, what it does is the text is the parameter ID, which in this case is 0, 1, and it's adding 2000 to it. So what that means is that the ID 0 is now 2000. The ID 1 is 2001. And the idea was to make a ring around it which shows the date, anywhere between year 2000 and 2060. Yeah, so easy. Easy little guy. And that same principle is used for a bunch of different things. Okay, I really wanna pack these up because I feel like they're just out in the open. They're really annoying me. Let's just see. This one actually isn't bringing any info in, so I think I could actually just collapse this already. Collapse it. It's gonna stop rendering, of course, because it's no longer a piece of geometry. I'm gonna change it to a piece of geometry like that. Hit render, and we're good. Why is that one guy on here really white? And I think it's because there was another piece, there was another material, and that didn't get packaged. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this. There we go. Or I'll make a duplicate of it, make it slightly less opaque, and apply. There we go. Now I can control how dark that ring is. Alright. I see one person is watching, but I suspect that it's not a real person. It's probably some YouTube bot that's like making sure I'm not showing things inappropriate. Year ring. Okay. I think we've made a lot of progress so far. I've got my year ring. Good. What's this? This is my date ring. It's the same deal. So this one's slightly different because instead of using the ID parameter, what I do is I actually look up, I use the ID to look up a position on a table. And this table has the names of all the months on there. So it's saying look up the 0th month, Jan, the 1st month, Feb, etc. And that's how I get those. Really enjoy that solution. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to collapse it. I'm going to turn it into a piece of geometry, like that. And call it month, ring, render it. And we're good again. Okay, so that's the idea. Should I go through and should I do the rest of them? Or should I get on with my day? And I think I'm going to get on with my day. It was fun kind of jumping back into this. I don't know if this was a cohesive enough video to actually make it worth doing it in this format. I'm pretty sleepy this morning, so I feel like I wasn't as articulate as I could have been, but that's okay. I'm going to continue this next time, and I will see if there was any interest in this, and if so, I'll do another one. And if not, I'll probably still do another one. Alright, have a nice day.